Hi guys, I'm Mike and this is F1 Fanatics. So, we have a different video here for you today guys. Today we are going to be looking at Lewis Hamilton versus Max Verstappen, the experienced head in Formula 1, chasing down record after record, trying to establish his legacy as one of the greatest of all time. And Max Verstappen, the young driver in the sport, been around for 4 years now, but he just keeps getting better and better. And is he closing that gap? Is he actually better than Lewis Hamilton as things stand? We asked that question today. Lewis versus Max, who's better? Guys, if you want all your kind of latest F1 content and you're new here, don't forget, subscribe to the channel, click that bell notification, and that's going to let you know when all our latest videos go live. But importantly today, let's get into it. Lewis versus Max. First up, the stats. So, it would be unfair to compare them over their whole careers because obviously Lewis has been involved in F1 a lot longer than Max Verstappen. So what I'm going to look at is the last season and a half, the whole 2018 season and the half a season we have had in 2019 so far. So first off, let's look at the young contender Max Verstappen. In 2018 he was able to secure 2 race wins. With that he also secured 11 podiums. He wasn't able to get any pole positions in that year, and he managed to rack up a total of 249 points with 2 fastest laps in the year, leaving him 4th in the overall Drivers' Championship, which was fantastic in that Red Bull car. His head-to-head with his teammate Daniel Ricciardo, who has obviously now moved on to Renault, he beat him in the races 8-3 and in qualifying 14-7. So he had beaten his teammate within the team. He was getting better. Obviously the Red Bull was the 3rd best car in that championship last year, and he had a really good solid job, but no pole positions. Moving on to the champion Lewis Hamilton. Looking at the champion last year, in 2018, he was able to secure 11 out of 21 race wins. With those 11 race wins, he also got 17 podiums, and on the Saturday was able to get 11 pole positions. He finished the season with a magnificent 408 points, with Sebastian Vettel's title challenge waning off in the second part of the season. He also was managed to secure 3 fastest laps over the course of the season, and all importantly guys, finished number 1, top of the tree in that Drivers' Championship. In the head-to-head, he absolutely wiped the floor with Valtteri Bottas in 2018. He beat him 16-3 on race day, and on the Saturday in qualifying 15-6. And it was an absolute dominating season from the world champion. If we look at overall in 2018, you have to say Lewis is ahead in stats on everyone. The race wins, the pole positions, head-to-head was more dominating than what Verstappen was against his experienced partner in Ricciardo, and obviously that most important one, he was number 1. But now guys, we look ahead to the 2019 season and the 12 races that we've had so far. Starting off again, Max Verstappen. In 2019, he's already equalled 2018's total of 2 race wins, coming in Austria and Hockenheim this year. Along with those 2 race wins, he's secured 5 podiums, and a really big milestone for Max, he has his first ever pole position, becoming the 100th different pole sitter in Formula 1 history. To date, he has 181 points in the championship, sitting him 3rd in the championship, and fastest laps. More important this year, surpassing his total from last year, he has 3 to his name. And why they're more important this year is because this year you get 1 championship point if you are able to secure the fastest lap in the race. Obviously, Pierre Gasly wasn't the competition that Daniel Ricciardo was, and Max Verstappen has shown that to a T. Pierre Gasly obviously getting the axe and Albon getting promoted. Be interested to see how he does second half of the season against him. But Max, in both race and qualifying, has beat Pierre Gasly 11-1. Now looking at Lewis Hamilton in 2019, and it has been his most dominant and best start to an F1 season ever, securing 8 wins out of 12 races so far. To go with those 8 wins, he also has 10 podium finishes, but going with a weakness of what he has, if we are going to call it an only weakness this season, because Sunday's where it matters really, only 4 pole positions on a Saturday for Lewis Hamilton. He currently has 250 points with a healthy lead at the top of the championship and only 2 fastest laps to Max Verstappen's 3. He currently sits top of the pile in first position, with Max slowly sitting down in that 3rd position there. And then in the head-to-head, again on race day when it matters, he's beating his teammate Valtteri Bottas 9-3. Again, a comfortable lead in that position. And then in qualifying, like I said, his only weakness you can probably say from the 2019 season on a Saturday, he is winning 7-5, so a lot closer than what it was last year, guys. So in stats wise, again, closer this time, but 2019, Lewis Hamilton is still ahead. He is absolutely blitzing on the stats, beats his teammate every time, that important number 1 position, more wins, more pole positions, more race wins. It says it all there, guys. It says it all. Now, guys, what we're going to look at that puts them closer in the standings is who gets the most out of their car. And I think the answer to this question is Max Verstappen. What he's got out of his car in the last couple of seasons, especially in 2019, with Honda obviously having such that poor relationship with McLaren. Now in the 2019 season with Red Bull, that perfect partnership forming, he is getting so much out of it. I think that's the 3rd best car on the grid, but he is pulling it up, driving it up, and getting it to compete with race wins. Obviously securing it in Austria, securing it in Hockenheim, 5 podium finishes as well. He is really competing at the top when maybe he shouldn't be. He is getting every last inch out of that car, and it is incredible to watch, and it is exciting to watch as well. Now Lewis Hamilton, I don't think that he has had to get the most out of his car for a long time, because he has had the best car on the grid. And that's not a criticism of Hamilton, because he's earned the right to have that car. In McLaren, in his early days, he got loads out of the car, and he really pushed that car to the limits to get the most points out of it. But in the Mercedes, he's doing obviously a fantastic job in the car, but getting the most out of it, I don't necessarily think he's on the same level as what Max is, especially this year. Maybe last year in 2018 you could argue more, because for long parts of that season the Ferrari was the better car. So on this head-to-head, I'm going to give a point to Max Verstappen. Now looking at more the kind of rivalry on track, and we've had 2 races in the 2019 season that kind of really focus and epitomise this challenge. The first one was Monaco. Lewis Hamilton's tyres were waning away. Verstappen, with the 5-second penalty, hounding him down, desperate to get past to try and create a 5-second gap to secure the win at Monaco, but he was able to keep Max Verstappen at bay, Lewis Hamilton, and it was a fantastic defensive drive, managing those tyres. We know Monaco is so difficult to get past, so if you're any good at defending, you're already got one up in the battle. But it was still a fantastic drive, still credit, and that racecraft is still just slightly ahead of Max Verstappen, who obviously is a very bold overtaker as well. The second race, freshest in memory, Hungary at the Hungaroring, a track that should favour the Red Bull. Max Verstappen securing the pole on the Saturday, and on the Sunday, what a superb battle that we had between the two of them. But again, this is where I think Lewis Hamilton is still ahead of Max Verstappen, especially in racecraft, because he hounded him down, wore those tyres away when driving, attack. Max Verstappen's defence was absolutely brilliant in that race, but it wasn't enough. He had him down. Then that great strategy call from Mercedes forced them to kind of get those amazing laps out of Lewis Hamilton, and it was superb to watch. Consistent qualifying lap after qualifying lap after qualifying lap, and he secured that race win. And that was just where his little bit of experience came in, guys, and it was absolutely superb to watch, and for me puts Lewis Hamilton still ahead of Max Verstappen. So there you go, guys. We've got stats there, we've got who gets the most out of the car, and then we've got direct head-to-head battles on the track. And I think overall, guys, looking at things, Lewis Hamilton still is the best driver, but that gap is closing, and hopefully we'll see it come to a pinnacle in the 2020 season, and hopefully see a title fight between these two going into the very last races, where we don't know whether we're going to have a new first-time world champion Max Verstappen or a record equaling 7th for Lewis Hamilton. Well, maybe we shouldn't discount Ferrari as well, but who knows in that situation, guys. Obviously, yeah, Ferrari today are neutral, neither Mercedes or Red Bull in this situation. But guys, Lewis Hamilton for me is the better driver than Max Verstappen as it stands, even though the gap has got closer. But you know, Max is improving, and like me and Ashley keep saying, we just feel it's a matter of when Max Verstappen is going to be a world champion rather than if Max Verstappen is going to be a world champion. So guys, I hope you liked our kind of roundup of the points there and thought from there. Our settled debate is Lewis Hamilton is still the best driver on the grid, and it is still better than Max Verstappen. Do you agree? Comment down below, let us know what you think. Do you disagree? Just have a conversation with us, guys. We love chatting to you guys in the comments, having a chat about F1. That's what we're here, that's what we're all about here at F1 Fanatics. Give us a thumbs up if you like that, and you remember, F1 fans, keep racing. Hi guys, hope you enjoyed today's video. We had a lot of fun kind of chatting about Lewis and Max. Don't forget, if you want all your F1 content that you could possibly want, F1 Fanatics is where you are going to find it. So guys, if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel below. Maybe check out our mid-season ratings mini-series that's going on, with part 1 up here for you guys. And also, if you want something a little bit different just like this, maybe check out our video of when I asked the question, is Christian Horner a good team principal? See ya!